Hi, everyone. My name is Swapna Oundhkar. I'm a VP of Product Management here at Kore.ai, focusing specifically on reimagining the future of work. And I own the HR, IT, and recruiting product portfolio. Today's session is about AI agents or always on IT help. And we are going to look at how AI can be applied in the domain of IT. So, what we are going to talk about in this section is what is the high cost of being reactive? Let me talk about some pain points that mostly employees and IT help desk go through today. So, for example, for employees, there are roughly 4 to 8 hours between the time a ticket is logged and by the time they get a response. 47% of digital workers struggle to find information. How do I do certain common IT tasks? How do I raise a ticket? I don't know where I need to find information. And because whenever there is a request that an employee encounters, it's pretty much urgent for that employee, or they risk losing productivity. And so most people find that the easiest way is to call up the phone or ping someone who they have already talked to before. And a lot of the tickets that are encountered today in the IT world are for repeat or really known issues, such as password reset. On the IT help desk side, we'll see that, you know, IT help desk people are juggling through 10 to 15 apps to resolve one ticket, which increases the cognitive load for those employees. And then 15 to 30% of productivity is lost per incident. To resolve a ticket, it takes a really long time wading through apps, looking through knowledge articles, or time lost in system searches. Okay, where do I need to go to find this information? And the IT help desk, it's a critical function which sees a lot of burnout, as you can see from that stat there. And so, what we are going to talk about is how do we reimagine IT with AI agents and with agentic apps? So, this is our vision for how we see the employee journey. At the heart of, we want to meet employees where they work and where they are in the channel of their choice. So, you will see in the middle circle over there, employees could be working in Teams, they could be working in Slack, or they could be working in WhatsApp, for example. In the middle, you will see that there is the employee life cycle. All employees go through this, which is going through attract screening, interviewing when they're looking for a job. Then they're onboarded into an organization, and when they're integrated, they're developed, engaged, and then they transition in and out of that organization. We also see this, the employee journey in different departments, right? It could be recruiting, it could be HR, it could be IT, it could be finance, procurement, etc. And in each one of these departments, through that life cycle, an employee or administrators go through multiple applications, as we were just talking about. And so our vision is to bring this entire life cycle, departments and applications together in one place to make it easier for the employees to actually do their day-to-day jobs. And so what we have reimagined is a solution which we call as AI for work. This will enable employees to get answers to their questions faster, automate everyday tasks, and manage AI agents from one secure solution. At the heart of it are three main components. You have powerful enterprise search because we know that searching for information is one of the most time consuming tasks and one of the most tasks which requires a lot of context switching and application switching. In the middle, you have a comprehensive AI marketplace. This includes pre-built agentic workforce for very common use cases with accelerators for IT and recruiting. If these agents do not meet your needs, you can build your own, or take these pre-built agents and extend them to fit your specific organization's needs. So for IT, some of the common use cases are, as I was just talking about, are access management or request management, where you're requesting devices or looking for outage information or doing endpoint remediation on the fly or raising tickets for any incident you might have occurred. The last one that you can see there is for knowledge management, where you need to look at maybe past tickets or articles on how to resolve a particular ticket. And then the final one there is ticket assignment, where you need to, a frequent lost use of time is in assigning tickets to the right queue. Someone has to manually look at the ticket and assign it to the right queue. So automated ticket assignment is another very huge use case. So I just want to talk about how an organization achieved 8 million in annualized savings with implementing some of these use cases that I was just talking about, and how they went from firefighting to fire prevention. So I was just talking about, how we think of issue resolution today. The approach today is that we wait for an employee to report an issue and we help a user file a ticket. Instead, a proactive approach would be for continuous monitoring and sending communications to all parties. For example, if we know that an application is down, instead of waiting for seeing the deluge of 300 tickets, we are continuously monitoring. And if an application is down, we are instantly sending communications to all relevant parties. The second type of example is for software installation. So today, in a reactive approach, what we do today is that a user gains approval for new software and then assists with installation. So a proactive approach could be, for example, to check through, for example, new employees and auto provisioning relevant software, or checking when the laptop contracts are ending and proactively reaching out to employees and asking them to replace and automatically placing the device. The third one, as I was just talking about, is with dynamic ticket routing. So today, again, as I was just talking about, help desk tickets are manually routed to the right agent for pattern creation. And this is where most of the time goes, like, oh, this ticket, okay, which group do I need to send to, or who do I need who is the best person to resolve this ticket? But instead, we can think of dynamically sending a ticket to the best available technician. So, as we are thinking from this, as we're thinking from this reactive to proactive, the technological shift has made this possible for us to even think about such a shift. So, when chatbots first came along, they were built with scripts or rules or decision trees, and they were rigid and menu driven and very linear. And that's why you could automate it, but it used to be very scripted and it needed to know the exact flow. When Gen AI came along, you now have the ability to do human like conversations, but it's still one shot. It is advanced, but it learns from prompt tuning and model oversight, and it responds intelligently, but it's still partial, meaning you still need the conversation interaction. But where we're now moving towards with autonomous AI agents is with the combination of LLMs, APIs, tools, memory, and feedback loops, you can now have multi step and memory aware conversations and interactions. And the adaptability is very high. It just looks for goals and decides how do you need to accomplish those goals. And that is how, with these autonomous AI agents, we can therefore now move from a very reactive to a proactive. And it depends on, the comfort level. Um, but what we're seeing in implementations is that organizations do prefer human in the loop, but it's still fairly autonomous, as I was just mentioning with some of those examples before. So again, as I was talking about, what are some of the capabilities that we provide with AI for work, specifically in the domain of IT? The first, as I was talking about, the problems that we look to solve are to make sure that an employee gets the self service and the help they need before even raising a ticket. So, an AI agents can handle IT questions, they can automate everyday tasks, and give employees faster and easier help. So, this is the reduction in tickets is because employees themselves are able to self serve and there is no need for tickets. So that itself reduces the amount of effort. The second portion is where we are trying to help the IT help desk, where we are helping AI agents and your help desk resolve those issues faster by making those conversations faster, seamless, and making smarter handoffs. And these are some of the use cases that I was just talking about. They could be ticket management, they could be for hardware, they could be for account or incident management, or for um, outage checking outages. So here are some of the capabilities for self-service. So for self-service is basically if I can suggest solutions before even opening up tickets and surface any relevant knowledge so that you could self-serve yourself. The second capability is we can verify identity, manage process approvals and permissions across system. The third one I was talking about is checking inventory, tracking delivery, and assist with setup and troubleshooting, like the example you see on the right hand side of the screen. And then the fourth one is to detect anomalies, help log incidents, and coordinate with support teams in real time. So here is an example of, for specifically regarding knowledge and how we would aid in knowledge search. So, as I was just saying, we can provide knowledge items to help users self-service before creating an incident ticket. For example, you can detect what type of incident it is. If there was already a knowledge article, then serve it up to the user. So, from knowledge bases like ServiceNow, for example, to the user. Or it can also go in and look at self-service knowledge items from previous resolved tickets to expedite that issue resolution. So, from in terms of help desk capabilities, what we look for is when the conversation is transferred to a human agent. And here, where we see this taking a lot of time, is when the entire conversation has to go through again. Instead, the context goes from the conversation from the employee to the human agent, giving all the history that is needed to help resolve that ticket. Um, we can generate concise call summaries and insights quickly, whether it is from call summaries or whether it is from a ticket itself. And if you can analyze those support tickets, uncover patterns, and then recommend help articles. Even, for example, if they were not able to resolve it, maybe you have certain articles as an agent that you could refer to and then help the employee get help for their ticket. um, it can also send targeted real-time alerts for outages or incidents. So even it's automatically detecting outages. So instead of getting those 100 tickets, it has already informed everyone that there was an outage, and it should be resolved shortly, and you don't need to then create a ticket. And these can be across different channels such as email, chat, and voice. So here are some of the example use cases that we were just going through. For employee self-service, you can view tickets, create incidents, or request assets from a catalog. You can view current or planned outages, or there could be an outreach or domain knowledge and common things such as password research or unlocking an account. And for manager self service, Managers can have notifications for manager approvals. And for IT help desk, there is the agent transfer, there is a desktop for agents, and there is broadcast notification. And for IT administrators, they can look at the prediction, or the administrators can look at how we can enable predictions to assign tickets to the right groups and categories and subcategories, or do application health check monitoring. And so, what are some of our differentiators? You can have these IT support workflows at your fingertips. As I was just talking about, you can use some of these pre built agents uh, to fit your needs. You can just start using them, or you can take those and you can custom build them so that they fit your process. There is one AI assistant. You don't have to go um, through multiple AI agents. There is, they have a single interface. There are multiple AI agents, but they have a single interface, and that eliminates platform switching for instant support. And then, as I said, your support is augmented with human agents and IT agents without any platform confusion. All right. So now let's go through some examples of some of these agents in action. So we have Jimmy Howard, who's an IT manager who wants to ensure smooth onboarding and reduce times. And, he doesn't want to go to 100 other places. So in this case, he just wants to check what's on my IT checklist today, how many people are joining maybe. So here are his tasks. He has to approve someone's MacBook Pro requisition, and he has to do some portal malfunction follow up and that he needs to do, or he needs to assess the onboarding progress for two engineers. And in this case, the MacBook Pro request has been because he needs a different type of laptop. So that's what, this can go through the entire task list if it has one, and he can just go through his day and complete the approval processes, for example case, the IT laptop I'm approving the IT laptop for engineer 2 and 3. All right, so we'll go on to the next example. So here, this is Priya, who's a service desk agent, and she wants to quickly triage issues and help them resolve faster. So what she is doing is, she has a support queue, and she can get all the tickets in her queue, and she can start resolving them one by one. So here you can see that she's starting with the first task, which is a high priority incident, and she can get help on resolving this first task. Um, so she has now done some categorization herself. She just categorized it. And then she's going on with her day on to the next incident and next. So in this case, Slack has crashed, and she's trying to resolve this specific incident. So in this case, instead of categorizing it, she is now deciding to resolve it immediately. And then this is the final other task that she has had in her queue. And it is talking about how to deal with internet connectivity issues. And she's quickly categorizing these tickets in one go. In addition to this, if you had the ticket assignment feature enabled, for example, this was just showing how you can automate a list of tasks. But for ticket assignment, you can also proactively have the tickets already assigned in the right queue. After she has done some of these training, the next time it can pick up the right queue, and those types of tickets will now be assigned into the right queue. So how do you find, the right fit, and how do you implement such solutions for your IT support needs? The common kind of process that we recommend to customers is to prioritize those use cases where AI can add immediate value. So that means going through your list of support tickets and prioritizing which ones have the most volume or the most time to resolve. And those would be, the those would be your high value kind of low hanging fruit. The next step is to assess suitability, whether you might have a particular process that you're trying to, you're getting these tickets, but if your process is very complicated, or if you don't have APIs that fit within your current tech environment, those are some of the feasibility things or suitability things that you need to look at. You can then establish clear goals and metrics and criteria for success. Again, the key is not to boil the ocean, is to take small wins, go through a few use cases, establish those goals and metrics, and then kind of iterate on it as you go. Then the next step is obviously selecting the right solution that integrates and complements your existing stack versus buying new solutions, or that need a lot of, that would take you a lot of time. Then plan a clear roadmap with milestones, roles, and timelines. And then once you have successful pilots, then you can scale strategically. But again, the key is not to do a rip and replace. Instead, work with what you have and try and see what tools fit in your framework today. And so we'll go to that customer's case study that I was just talking about on how $8 million in saving. So here we have a life sciences customer. They wanted to have an AI powered service desk and they wanted to streamline search. So these were some of their goals. They had a very high self service rate then goal. This was their initial goal, but they almost reached greater than 50% of their goal. And their agent transfer goal was at 40% is now, and it's now at less than 30%. And finally, I will leave you with this quote. The IT department has been central to the entire organization so far, but going in the future, it is going to be um, an even more transformative role as we see these AI agents entering the workforce. And Jensen Wang had this quote where the IT is going to be the HR department of AI agents in the future. And so I just want to leave with that thought that IT departments have a very key role to play in how we are using and deploying AI agents in the future. Thank you.